Hi everyone. So now that we have dealt with the history of typography, we have dealt with anatomy of typography, we've dealt a little bit. Now we're going to get started on our sort of deep dive into typography. So the first project we're going to do is called Your Alphabet, and it's going to rely on you having done these sketches, right? So by this point, you should have had two of these sheets with the sketches of these letter forms. And you're going to need these because you're going to use these as a resource, as inspiration to generate your own alphabet from. So you're going to develop your own unique uppercase alphabet inspired by one of the letter forms in your anatomical sketches. So you're going to use the sketches you have made on here, not these, right? Your own sketches to develop an alphabet. So what you in essence are going to do is select one letter form that you really, really liked, you really were interested in, either the spacing, the proportion, the lines, the sort of the thick and thin, the relationships, a particular area of the letter form that you were like, oh, I really like what that does, what that gesture means, what could that potentially mean, and develop an alphabet around that particular letter form or the ideas that you're trying to explore from that letter form. Okay, so the only thing you can use for this particularly for the first week, you're doing this by hand. The only thing you can use is a pencil. Okay, you can use a black Sharpie or a black thin pen so you can ink at the end, but you're going to develop an alphabet, all the letters A through Z, including punctuation, comma, period, semicolon, colon, dash, and any other punctuation you really would like to design. And you're going to use a ruler. Now, when I mean a ruler, it could be this kind of ruler. 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 It can be this ruler. It can be this ruler. I have a quirky scissors that have a ruler on them. The only stipulation for the ruler is that it must have measurement on it printed. Okay, so if you use this compass, that's fine. It has measurement on it. If you look at this little funky spare scissors with a ruler, it has a measurement on there. It also has other sort of like stencil pieces. These architectural sketches have measurement on them, so you can use that. So you must use the ruler, and that is the only tool that you're going to use to make your letter forms. Okay, so you have to use the edges, the forms inside, however, with a pencil. And then once you have done that, you are going to select the particular areas of the letter form and then develop an alphabet out of that. You will see that in the instructions for this, I want you to start thinking what parts of the letter form was your jumping point, was your reference, was the thing that you were really interested in. What are the physical features of your font, how thick or thin the strokes are, right? How will you classify your font? Is it a transitional serif? Is it a humanist? Is it a sans serif? One tip to look at is that you want to first draw the letter O, N, U, and I. Those are the letters from which you can create the rest of the alphabet, because those four letters may have the structure and the sort of basic anatomy of all the other letter forms. And you see in the instruction sheet how those letter forms help you create the other letters. Okay, keep in mind that these are new letter forms that are inspired by the original sketches. Okay, by your original sketch letter forms. These new forms are your own. Additional resources, visual examples to be inspired from that I put there. I put the visual history of type, which is a rather large PDF, so you can see it's organized from the beginning to now in terms of typography. Typeface designer Paul Ellerman, who has this particular project called the Fan Alphabet, which is devised. Carl Nerout, who's a French designer who designs letter forms, not always the alphabet, the whole alphabet, he does letter forms. And there is a link to a Google search for him so you can see visual examples. And then there is another link to an article about him from the AIGAI magazine. Again, examples of rulers, any ruler you can use as long as it has measurement on it. and then you're going to design with a pencil. Here's another little rule that I have. That's a stencil, but it has a ruler there, so I can use it. So think about that. You're going to create your alphabet on one piece of paper. So I would suggest you get like an 11 by 17 sheet that once you're done sketching by hand, you can pin up, photograph carefully in black and white, and upload to the Slack channel for critique. Okay, so let's see what everybody's inspired by, and also when you post to the Slack channel, make sure you write up some information about what was your inspiration, what you're seeing the typeface looking like. Okay, so great. Looking forward to seeing what you guys all do, and if you have any questions, as always, please reach out to me.